Hi and welcome to our YouTube channel for ACL patterns and more. Today I'm going to show you how to make this really great bracelet, this really great wide cuff, so stay tuned. Okay, so to make this this really cool bracelet or cuff, we're going to need a couple of things. We're going to need our leather cord, 4mm leather cord. I'm going to use in this case. We're going to need our adhesive, which I'm going to use E6000 in this case. We're going to need a good pair of scissors and our clasp, which in this case I'm using our our ACL-Steel magnetic clasp. This clasp has a slide-in and a magnet, which keeps them in place and do not come apart. So this is the one we're going to use, and this is pretty much it. Oh, we can use we would also, you don't need them, but they're useful, a couple of toothpicks just to spread the adhesive. You know, your regular toothpick will do, and that's it. So let's get started. So we'll put these to the side. Okay, so to measure our bracelet, to figure out how big we would need it, the best way I found to do this is, instead of using a measuring tape or anything like that, just wrap it around your wrist, just wrap it around your wrist. I like my bracelets to be a little bit on the snug side, so measure so that it fits however you want it. I wanted this this snug on me, so I don't know if you can see it there, and just measure to where both of the cords meet. In my case it's this, and we're going to cut here. The reason we're doing it this way is because if you use a measuring tape to measure your wrist, you don't take into account the thickness of the leather of the cord, the thickness of the bracelet, of the clasp, I'm sorry. So this way will actually work a little bit better. So once we have that, you're going to do whatever amount you want. In this case, I am going to be using 2, 4, 6, 7 pieces of cord. So I've already have the 7 of them all cut. I used a little bit of tape just to keep them in place and to line them up. Once I did that, once I cut all 7 of them and I lined them up all together, I put the tape on them just to keep them in place, and I trimmed the edges so that they're all pretty much the same length. Okay, once we have that, we are going to need our clasp. In this case, I'm using our coal clasp, our E6000, and we're going to go ahead and glue it. Okay, so to glue our cord into our clasp, we're going to need our E6000, of course, a toothpick, which is very helpful, paper towel. I like to use a paper towel, so I'm just going to put this to the side and bring a paper towel in here, so it, just in case it gets the glue spreads or something, I don't want to make a mess. And I'm going to use a little piece of foil paper, I'm sorry, just because this will absorb the E6000 and I don't want to make a mess, so I'll show you right now. So once we have all of this, make sure that it all fits, but don't play around with it too much, especially with the corded with the braided cord, because the ends will start to come apart and you don't want that. So take these apart, take this one apart, and I'm going to take some of my E6000 and just put a bit of it here. You don't really need too much. There you go. That should be enough. And I'm sorry if this is reflecting too much light. Okay, so we're gonna get a little bit of our E6000. We're gonna put it in the slot of the clasp. Just very careful that you don't get it on the outside of it. Spread it around in there. There you go. Make sure you spread it well. And it looks like I should have poured out a little bit more than that. There you go. Okay. All right, now that we put it on the inside of the little slot or the hole, make sure you don't have, you see how I got a little bit of glue here? Just take a little piece of paper towel and just wipe it out really quickly before it starts to dry. And let's look at the top. Okay, we're all clean. So now we're just gonna take our cords and start sliding it in there. We're gonna do one at a time and very carefully that we don't spread the glue out, and make sure that it's going in on both sides. You don't need to get it all the way in yet. You just want to make sure that all of the cords, see that this one's out, it's not going in. We're going to make sure that it pushes them, to push them in. You can even use a clean toothpick to push it in a little bit. Okay, make sure we got all those ends in there. And at the top we're going to do the same thing. So you see how this one's coming out, push it in. And now we push them all inside. Make sure they all bottom out in there. That's good. Okay, so we're going to put it to the side for now. You can put it up here actually. Now we're going to need a little bit more of E6000 or whatever adhesive you're using. I prefer to use the E6000 just because it does give you a little bit more time to play around with it, just in case you make a mistake or anything like that. You have 24 hours for it to cure, so gives you some more time. Put this to the side. Do the same thing again. Take the other end of our clasp, and with our toothpick, I'm going to put in a little bit at a time in that slot. Make sure you get some at the bottom of that slot as well as the walls, the inside walls of that, so that it really holds on to that cord. Go. And that should be enough. There you go. Once again, a clean paper towel to clean up anything that might have gotten on the outside. Remember, we don't want that on the outside. Clean those edges. There you go. And now I'm going to put this to the side. So we already have one end of the clasp all set in its place and glued. We're going to put this on the other side. Now you want to make sure that you have both sides aligned. So for instance, if I were to do it this way, it wouldn't align. So you need to make sure that they're both aligned. So this way is the way we need it. So we're going to do it. Once again, the same thing. I'm just going to turn it over because it's a little bit easier for me to do it this way. Once again, one at a time. They don't have to go all the way in. Just make sure that they're going into the slot of the clasp. Go, and I can see, okay. Our clean toothpick, we're going to use it to push that cord inside. Make sure they're all in there. Same on this side. And now we're really going to push it in to make sure that it touches that bottom of the slot in there. go. Now you can use your paper towel. You see how it started to ooze out a little bit on this end? Just take that paper towel and clean it up. And that's the good thing of E6000, it gives you a little bit of time in case it oozes out, you can clean it up quickly. Okay, just want to make sure that this one is going in. There. Okay, so now both ends of the clasp have been glued. And we're just gonna let it sit there for 24 hours or whatever amount of time your adhesive tells you to wait. In this case, E6000 usually tells you to wait 24 hours for it to cure. So we're just gonna leave it there. As tempting as it is to wear your bracelet, because it looks really cool, just let it sit there for a good 24 hours. There. Just let it sit there for a good 24 hours for it to fully cure and to bond the cord with the clasp, with the metal of the clasp. And once you're waiting your 24 hours, let me put this to the side. Waiting your 24 hours, then you can use it. The bond should be all set, and everything should be nicely bonded and cured. So, and you can wear your brand new leather cuff. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned how to make your cuff. Make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you like the video, feel free to share it anywhere in social media that you feel anyone might like to watch this video. And don't forget to subscribe. Have a good one, and thank you for watching.